loves, it's Lacey and welcome back to our space. So today's DIYs are going to be utilizing chicken wire. I have a big roll here that I want to show you guys in case people don't know how chicken wire comes. This is a 2 feet wide and I don't even know how long it is. I've been using this roll for quite a while now. You can see that it has all this excess wire that comes out of it. It is wrapped around the chicken wire to hold it together, and so you can have wire when you need to attach more than one piece together with this. You can weave this excess wire in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a section off camera because there's no way I want to mess with this. The easiest way is to lay it out and put something heavy on it because it is in a roll and it will want to roll back on each other, and cut a piece. So I'm probably going to cut another 2 feet section. It's 2 feet wide, and so I'm going to cut about 2 feet long on it and be back and show you guys what we're going to do with this. Okay, I put on gardening gloves for this because these edges are very sharp. Now what I use to cut the chicken wire is just some wire cutters. Dollar Tree sells wire cutters. They work on like the Dollar Tree Floral wire, but I suggest that you use a little stronger ones. I like these because they have a spring in them and they bounce back. And all I did was cut in between some of the pieces of chicken wire, like in between here, just in the middle. It'll give you little sharp edges on the sides, so be very careful with it. So now I didn't measure because it doesn't really make a difference if it's exactly 2 feet. I'm going to fold this chicken wire over and make like a pocket into it. Next, I'm going to take and I'm going to use floral wire and I'm going to weave it in and out of the sides of this. So these sides are together and it makes a pocket. But before I do that, I'm going to bend the top of this down where all of the sharp edges are. This is why we need the gloves, and have them face down like that, and do the same thing on the other side. I have clean top edges and it makes like a little bag. That's what we need to do first, is now cut some floral wires and make it go around the edge. another piece of this in a minute. But before we do that, I'm going to actually take and fray off the bottom of the edge going around here quite a bit. I'm going to do it as far up as to near where the pearls are. This is the look I was going to go for, to have a frayed edge here at the bottom. I think it just gives it a little extra oomph, and you guys all know that I am extra. So we're going to take all of these out, and I'm actually just going to do it on the front. You can do the front and the back. You won't see the back of mine pretty much. If I decide to move it somewhere else, I can always fray it later. Okay, now I'm going to take my big bad hot glue gun because it uses my Gorilla glue sticks. These are stronger and they should last a little bit longer. I use the other one for intricate stuff that it's not going to make a difference. So I'm going to take this piece that I kind of glued together, and I'm going to put Gorilla Glue, which will be a whole lot hotter and a whole lot more because the nozzle's bigger, on here, and I'm going to tuck that inside and glue it down for a handle. Okay, for DIY number 2, you can see I already have some chicken wire here that I folded. So for this one, I rolled out my chicken wire long ways, and I ended up folding over 2 feet of it on top of each other. So I had 4 feet of chicken wire this way. I cannot show you 4 feet in this craft space, so I did this in advance, and I folded it in half. So it was like this, folded up 4 feet, all the way open. Then I took and I turned it, and I folded it this way. But I put a thick bottom on it. So in order to do that, I left this open to show you guys how I did it. When I folded it up this way, I crunched in some on either side to make a wider side. So it was straight like this, and I just bent it in. I figured this would be very easy to follow, and once I had it bent in, I crinkled the bottom up some because it needs to fold over each other, and it made this box. Instead of it being flat, it made it more into a box shape. And then on this side, I ran a few wires, and this was the sharp edge, and then this is the non-sharp edge, and I'm going to show you how I just did the same exact thing. I took some of my floral wire, and I'm going to cut a piece and do exactly like I did the last DIY. So there you have one solid piece, and you can flatten it out on the bottom so that it will set up by itself. Okay, so now the difference in this, because I wanted to make a bigger one, you can make it as big or as small as you want, is I'm going to then now take some sheet moss and I'm going to put it inside of this one. However, by folding it the way that I did, you have a pocket on either side. The camera angle because I realized you guys could not see what I was doing. So all I did was take this piece, and it's not glued down on this side, and I glued it down on this side. I have a little bit of a gap here. The bottom I'm not going to worry about at all because it's going to sit down on it and I don't need to have it covered. So now I'm just gluing, hot gluing down the moss on the inside here. So then once that is done, when you turn it up, you will have moss on the edges. Okay, here's what that looks like now. All the sides are covered in moss, and sorry about the kind of angles with trying to get the inside shown to you guys. This is what it looks like. All I did was glue down these pieces so they would stay. It doesn't have to look pretty on the inside at all because we're going to be covering that up. This is going to be the front, and we will continue to lose some moss here for a while. Now, all of that moss that fell off that I had piled up, I did put in a Ziploc baggie. Save that. You can use it for other projects or fill in holes anywhere that moss falls completely off. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and I already have some that's open. We're going to decorate the outside of this so it looks like a bag as well. I saw this at one of my local hardware stores that always gets in pretty things for different holidays. We had to go there to get some pieces to fix a couple of things around our house here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first loop a loop here, and then I'm going to put that here on this bag and run this rope up to the other side and make another loop. And then when I make the other loop, I'm going to run the rope back alongside it, so this will be 2 pieces thick. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Next DIY, we are going to be making a very large circle. As you can see, I already have it drawn out. To do this, I took and just placed a screw in some old poster board that I was using before, attached it to a pencil, and then put the pencil here out and followed the circle all the way around. And then we are going to place it on top of some more chicken wire because we need a really big circle for this next project. As you can see, I'm in a different area. Let's do that and I'll show you what we're going to do next. And we are going to hook them together and make them one piece. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go ahead with my gardening gloves, and I'm sorry they're kind of squeaky. I'm going to go ahead and fold these pieces under all the way around to make one piece. And so this is going to be one continuous thing. And then I'm going to turn them kind of sideways also. Any pieces that stick way out so you don't see them. And then any spots that they don't hook together real well, we're going to add some floral wire to tack them together. Here is what this looks like all done. What I did was I took some of my floral wire and I went around the edge. Some places are a little thicker than others to make sure that it was all pretty even. Now I do realize after I did this, probably the easiest way to have done it is to actually take and make one circle bigger than the other and then bend it over and then go around and connect the edges. This took me an hour, so I suggest you try it that way, and if it works for you better. I like this and it's okay, but it was a tedious process. So next we're going to move this one over to the side and we're going to grab another piece. Here, I just cut this one. It's probably about a 1.5 feet maybe, and I'm going to fold it in half on that center line just like this. And I'm not going to worry if they don't meet up evenly because I basically kind of actually want them off-centered. So I'm gonna bend this one over just a little and let it fall where it falls. And then I'm going to take and bend it up on both sides and in the middle, and we're going to try to make a dome out of this. I know it can be done. I'm going to twist it and pull the sides up and make like a circle, like a dome. I want the top of this dome to be just this part. I don't want any pokey spots. That looks like it's kind of jagged on the edge, but we're not going to worry about that. I took my time and I kind of shaped it more into a ball. You could try to put this over a bowl and push it down and maybe it will work. I just thought this was the easiest way for me to do it. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our circle and we're going to put our dome in the middle, and as you can see, it resembles a sun hat. I saw one of these at my local hardware store. They have like this beautiful gardening section, and it was beautiful, and so I decided to go ahead and make one of my own. So now what we're going to do is take some more of the floral wire, and we're just going to do like we did the bag and sew this down to the bottom circle, and then we're going to decorate it. And don't worry if it's a mess sewing it to the bottom circle, because we're going to cover all of that up. Okay, now we're going to remove this center part. I wasn't going to at first, but I actually do want it to look more like an actual hat. So we're going to cut out the center part here.